recap day 1 and day 2 so far. We've covered a ton of ground. I'm actually so excited with how much ground we've covered because I think it's important to understand that really, like, Josh and I didn't have any of this planned out except for maybe about 3 days ago. As the summit was ending, we began to put together ideas for this, and we kind of had a rough idea of what we wanted to focus on. But the way that this has progressed and the way that the actual brand and the product has begun to flesh out is really cool. And I hope that it's inspiring to you guys to understand that, like, in just 3 days of research from our side, although we are experienced at doing this, we have been able to find a great product opportunity and a niche within a niche, make a product even better. We've been able to source that product so far. We've been able to think about a brand. In just 3 days, we've covered a ton of ground. And I hope that you guys can use this blueprint for yourself as you do your research, whether you're launching your first or your 10th product. So we'll just go back and forth real quick. So far, we've covered the process, which is idea generation, using the niche finder tool, of course, the niche validation, following the data, making sure that everything checks the right boxes. We've talked about differentiation, making the product better, more unique, and stand out on page 1. We've talked about historical sales and understanding seasonality of the products and how well those sellers stay in stock on page 1. We've also talked about personas and who our target customer is with this product, as well as sourcing and how we're going to actually create a business around this product and brand.
First, I just want to mention, while we did find these products in 3 days and we've created this whole presentation on a potential product, don't get discouraged if you can't find a product straight away. We've had hours and hours and hours and like hundreds of hours of product research training. We know what we're looking for. If this is brand new to you, this will be a lot of like information to take in. So don't get discouraged if you don't find something straight away. Stick at it. The more consistent training you do, the more opportunities and the better opportunities that you'll find. The tools that we focused on so far have been our product research tools. We've used the brand new tool, the niche finder. We've came up with, we cast out a big net and we brought in a cool fish, the vinyl record holder. And then we validated that idea with the niche radar and made sure that product was not seasonal by using Sales Spy. We tracked the historical data. We saw how much inventory we might need if we were to launch at this time. We then came up with we then figured out what our customers were saying about the product with the love-hate tool. And we came up with some ideas for differentiation and some improvements on the product to make sure we keep away from those 1 and 2 star reviews. We then sourced our product quite simply with Easy Source. So a quick search for vinyl record holders or storage, and this product that we'd already found on Pinterest popped up on Alibaba, right for us just to reach out, message them, and start getting samples.
Perfect. So yeah, the product that we have been focusing on is the vinyl record storage, or a record player stand. That's another keyword that you could use to accurately describe this product category. And why do we like this product? Well, we covered this yesterday, but it's simple, it's sturdy. There's a fantastic price point, cheap cost of goods sold. We actually looked at the numbers with the product research checklist, and we have some really amazing numbers at our disposal. There's very little creativity or style on Amazon. It is also a niche within a niche. We also understand the target demographic, and we kind of showed how we do that. This is also potentially could be a bundleable item, or you could sell 2 or 3 or 4 packs, especially if we go with the diamond shaped one, which is one that we're kind of more leaning towards as a superior product. And there's various sizes and the ability to really build a brand around this initial product idea. We can come up with different styles. Once we build a relationship with our supplier, really begin to customize other products in this line as well. We have actually literally on Alibaba, using Easy Source, found the 2 products that we're most interested in. These are the differentiated products on Amazon that are not on Amazon right now. This product is actually sold by Urban Outfitters. So we either found a manufacturer that's using photos that Urban Outfitter uses, or this is actually Urban Outfitters manufacturer of the product. And then we've also found the other product as well. Let's just really quickly recap as well. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. The product research checklist. What are maybe like 2 or 3 numbers that impressed you the most, Josh, about what we were able to flesh out yesterday? And then also, maybe you can just talk through some of these yellow cells that we're going to wrap up today.
Sure. So yesterday was all about figuring out how much our product was going to cost to manufacture, and then what could we sell it for, and what is the actual amount of profit that we're going to take home from Amazon. We can see there that under C profit percentage, we have an estimated profit percentage of around 49%, 50%, and that's being conservative. We weren't. These are estimates, like very accurate estimates, but this was conservative. We didn't overcharge. We based our prices off the competition. We gave high approximates of what we thought something like this would manufacture for. We calculated our shipping, but this is really exciting because 50% profit margin means, and at $22 per unit means you're going to have a lot of profit coming in. You can scale really quickly, and you just have a lot of money that you can turn over into more inventory and get that business rolling. There's no point in going for those products that are making 20% when you're spending money on PPC or less than that. And if you're not bringing enough money back into your pocket, it's really, really hard to scale. So these are really exciting numbers to see. You can also see some of these yellow blocks here. We've got a few of the more keyword related sales to fill out today. So we need to figure out the keyword dollars generated, which will be inside of Keywords on Fire. The ZG launch. So this is Zonguru's estimated number of units that you need to move per day to stay on page 1 when you launch. So this is a really, really powerful number. The top keywords to target. So this is just getting your mind thinking about those, what keywords we're looking at, whether we're looking for keywords that are short tail, long tail, and I'll show you how to do that. The top keywords search volume and the top keyword top 25 listing rank. So this is just so the search volume is showing the demand for this keyword, and the top 25 listing rank. I'll go over all this, but this is showing the competition of this keyword. So these are a few that we'll fill out later. I didn't mention it yesterday, but there is a couple cells here. The love-hate pain points, how your product will stand out. They're good ideas to fill in those so that later when you go to your mastermind, these are the ideas we found in the love-hate tool. You can tell your mastermind, I'm deciding to go with this product, and this is how I'm going to differentiate because my customers are telling me the quality sucks, or whatever came up in the common review. So get those ideas out of your head onto the spreadsheet and make it a lot easier in the future.
Awesome. Cool, guys. So we're going to try to chug along because the lesson plan that we have built today is pretty solid, and I just want to make sure that we cover it at a reasonable pace. So day 3's agenda, we're going to cover it as quickly as we can, and then we'll get into the demo. So we're going to be just revisiting the total drag, which is our fictitious brand name for this product. For those of you guys that missed it yesterday, this is kind of a play on the words with the phrase "what a drag" and the drag of a record needle across a record. So we're going to be building upon this. Mainly focusing on finessing the brand overview and what we stand for and what our mission statement is, how this relates to keyword and the listing copy that we're trying to write, and then also our customer demographic. We're just going to revisit that, and we've fleshed it out a little bit more. Finally, we're going to be really answering the question, okay, why should I care about this? Or why should you care about this? And how does this relate back to keywords and listing copy? And then we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of this session, which is all about listing copy that drives traffic. So we're going to be using 3 tools in particular, and that's Keywords on Fire, Keyword Spotlight, and Listing Optimizer to find and identify the best keywords for this product. So we're maximizing the traffic and the eyeballs on our listing. And then we're going to talk about copywriting that connects and ultimately converts, because that's the goal, right? You want to get eyeballs, you want to get clicks, and then you want to get people to add to cart. or buy now and actually convert on the sale. The halo effect is a really solid strategy that we've been implementing. We've seen on our own listings as well as friends and Zonguru customers have been implementing similar strategies, especially on new listings. It's a fantastic way to drive traffic super fast, organically, early. And then also, we've basically scratched the surface with what Zonguru has to offer so far. And at the end of this presentation, we'll have about half of the tools, fully explained and demoed in depth. But we also want to just show you at a high level, what else does Zonguru have to offer, and how can we help you increase your customer impact, your customer service, and your total number of customer reviews.
Cool.
So let's just quickly cover Total Drag as a brand overview. I was putting this together a little bit last night, feeling really inspired by the product that we have, and really trying to think about, this is like where my head goes, is like just trying to think, okay, well, we were using the analogy yesterday, if we're building a statue, we're chiseling away at a statue, it's fully taken shape. We know what we're chiseling right now. Now it's time to add in the details and really make it look nice. So what's the mission statement of Total Drag? Well, Total Drag understands that your record collection is sacred. That's why we've created a line of furniture items aimed at showcasing and protecting your collection in the most stylish ways possible. Give your records the resting place they deserve with Total Drag. You can see that the tone here in our mission statement, as well as the listing copy that we're going to write, and any potential marketing or ad copy that we're going to write, is going to have this tone. It's going to be cool and hip, educated and articulate. It'll be audiophile centric. Audiophiles are the people that really enjoy that high fidelity, expensive audio equipment. We're native English speakers, so it'll be primarily in English. It's going to have kind of a bohemian as well as a friendly style. We'll be taking a stance that's sort of non-conformist. Hipsters, which is our target demographic, are very much at least see themselves as non-conformists. And then at the end of the day, we're also environmentally conscious. So we're going to be thinking about that with things like our photography, our branding, our lifestyle photography, and everything in between. These are just some basic logos that I like, and I think would provide inspiration for when it's time to actually reach out to a graphic designer and get a logo created. The two up at the top here, the red one is a record label that's here local in Los Angeles called Brainfeeder Records. I like that one, as well as the Ghostly International one. That's another record label that's around here. Very like circular designs, which I'm sure we'd play on with records being round as well. Brewery West is a very cool brewery out here in Southern California as well, and I just love the style, love the typography here. Super nice. And then Light Collective is actually an old one of my first private label companies. My girlfriend and I started this company, Light Collective, and this was our logo. And I think we would probably play on that a little bit and kind of use that style as inspiration as well. So revisiting our customer personas, round two, we've just kind of fleshed out the idea a little bit more and really created some structure around the personas. So again, James, he's from Los Angeles, California. Although I think actually yesterday he was in New York, but that's my bad. But he's in the film industry, and guess what? He's a private label seller. Imagine that. He sells a couple private label products on the side. His hobbies and interests are hi-fi audio and record collecting, animals, stylish leather goods, concerts, movies, and photography. He's environmentally friendly. He likes tech, sports, and the outdoors, and of course, craft beer. So why are we doing this? Why are we fleshing out who our customer is? Because these are the customers that are going to read our listing copy. So it's really important that we know when we're writing listing copy who our customer is, so we can write in a style that connects with them. Brands he likes are Canon, Spotify, Uber, Patagonia, Pliny, which is a brewery out here, Will Leather Goods, Netflix, and he really likes his local dispensary being from Los Angeles, California. Music genres, likes alternative, rock and roll, and electronic music. Veronica over here on the right, from my hometown, Portland, Oregon. She's a mixologist and also sells on the side. Imagine that. Her hobbies are music festivals, hiking with her dogs, arts and literature, rock climbing, yoga, vintage motorcycles, crafting, cocktails, and astrology. She sounds pretty cool. Brands that she likes are HBO, Stumptown Coffee Roasters, Amoeba Records, Urban Outfitters, Triumph Motorcycles, and Eagle Rare Whiskey. Her music genres are indie, punk, folk. So this is just giving us, again, a picture of how we're going to, maybe brands or hobbies or interests that we're going to try to copy a little bit in the branding of our own product, packaging of our own product, as well as ultimately the most important part, which is what we're going to be focusing on today, which is keyword research and the keywords that we use and the listing tone and copy that we create to connect with these customers. So you might be asking yourself still, how does this relate to keyword research and Zonguru software? Why should I care about any of this? Well, if you can connect with your customers through language, you have another, and I want to add another, but also a very powerful touch point that can drive a higher conversion rate once you have somebody on your listing. Your customers can smell bullshit from a mile away. So if you're just jamming keywords down their throat and your listing copy has very little creativity or is not very articulate or isn't spoken in a way or written in a way that actually is pleasing to the ear of your customer, then you have a less of a chance of making the sale. So don't sleep on good copywriting because it goes a long way.
I'd like to reinforce this. I know you may have noticed that Darren is an English major, so he has a bit of a knack for the writing. But if we go just back a couple of slides to his mission statement, we can see here that your customer isn't going to smell bullshit. Like, this mission is, you should screenshot this and we'll send you the slides, but this is a perfect way to write out your mission statement where it's well-spoken. We're using creative words that like your audience will read and they'll understand and it speaks to them, instead of saying just being your stock standard brand that says, we sell the best vinyl record holders, or world's best vinyl record holders, is just a stock standard. No thought was put into this sort of mission, or really think about this. Think about what your customer wants and create a unique mission statement. And if it should meet this sort of standard that Darren has here. I know he does have the knack for this, but you can pay someone on Upwork, on Fiverr, who's an English major. There's plenty of people who've done that, and they would be happy to come up with creative mission statements. And this is something that you should read every time as you're creating your product and thinking, okay, keep it to this sort of standard. This is for a brand that we want to see go really far. We need to put in this much of effort and keep it to such a high standard the whole way through. Don't slack on any of the points. Awesome.
Good point. Very cool. So we're going to chug along now. We've laid the framework here, right? With who we're trying to target and the way in which we're going to do that using language. Now we need to get into the data, right? And the analytics around keyword research. And luckily, being in this audience, being a Zonguru customer, you have access to the very best keyword tools on the marketplace. And that's coming from 7-figure, 8-figure sellers. We are able to provide you with the most targeted, highly relevant keywords possible so that you can make sure that you know which keywords to use in your listing copy that are going to drive the most traffic to your listing. But how, at a high level, do you maximize traffic and sales? Well, it's a 2-part process. You have to get the traffic, and then you have to convert the traffic. Once you have eyeballs on your listing, or once somebody has clicked on your listing, you need to get them to buy the product. So if you can do those 2 things, you're going to get organic sales. Now, how do you get traffic? Well, you optimize your listing for the best keywords. You need to optimize for both long tail and short tail keywords. You also need to continuously check the performance of those keywords for your product. It's one thing to do keyword research once and write a great listing copy and then let your product go to work and you're just replenishing inventory, improving and tweaking the product, and generating sales. Everything's plugging along just fine. But it's another thing completely to tweak, A/B test, and continuously check the health of your keywords. If all of a sudden your sales drop off, Maybe you fell off of page 1 for a keyword. Maybe you need to drive a little bit of extra traffic for PPC for that keyword. Maybe all of a sudden Amazon stopped indexing you for that keyword, and you're undiscoverable for that keyword. Then it's wasted space in your listing copy. So getting traffic is just basically figuring out what the keywords are, putting them in your listing, but doing it in a way that actually connects with your customer. Also, Amazon's algorithm loves to see outside traffic brought to Amazon listings. So outside traffic and driving traffic to with certain keywords is a good idea as well. And then finally, holiday programs. Is the vinyl record holder a great Christmas gift? Yeah, probably. So around the holiday season, you should be thinking, well, how can I use holiday specific copy in my listing to drive extra traffic for potentially moms who are looking for, a present for her, her kid that's in their early 20s that likes music or vinyl records and types in, great gifts for a music lover son or something like that. And then once you have the eyeball,
put in keywords like Black Friday deal or something like that in your back-end search terms, where it's not going to show up on your listing. It's not like bringing down the value of your copy, but it's hidden away there. And lots of people will be typing in keywords like that around those times. And it would be a good option to be able to rank for those a lot easier too.
Perfect. Yeah. And then once you have the eyeballs on your listing, well, how do you make sure, like, you're so close, you have their attention, you've got a hot lead, how do you convert that into a sale? There's a lot more than just this, but these are kind of the basics. First off, can you bundle your product? We touched on it in day one. We had a potential bundling item with the little alphabetical organizers for vinyl records, where we provide a little wooden, like a little piece of handcrafted wood that somebody can use to separate the vinyl records alphabetically. Again, is it giftable? Does it come gift wrapped? And then your images and overlays are, honestly, in my opinion, probably the most important part towards driving the high conversion rate. It's all important, but this probably holds the most weight because this is where people look first, right? They look at the number of reviews and then they look at the photos to see if the photos connect with them. So make sure that your photos are professionally done. Invest more than you probably would think that you should in photos, because it's just such an important thing. Invest in lifestyle photography, benefit overlays to call out the benefits of your product, of course. All of these things are really important for higher conversions. And then competitor behaviors, and you can look off of Amazon. What does Urban Outfitters do when they photograph their product? What do they do when they photograph their product with a model? Or, how are they writing their ad copy? You need to be thinking about all of these things, because in kind of this like postmodern era of, brand building, it's okay to look at what the top dogs are doing and the big brands are doing and put your own spin on it. It's not copying if you're actually putting your own spin on it. So what are the competitors doing? And then what we're going to be focusing on as well, which is copy that connects. And then finally, if you're brand registered, congratulations, you should 100% have A+ content, or previously known as EBC, because that's just more real estate and, will keep the session time on your listing that much longer, which leads to a higher conversion rate as well. Okay. So we're going to keep chugging along. I know that, hopefully this is making sense right now. We're going to get into a really core concept right now that's integral to understanding, keyword research as a whole, and that is the halo effect. Now, we've talked about this for the last couple months. If you've joined us for any of our previous training series or webinars with John and myself, the halo effect is the best way to make sure that, especially for a new listing, that you're driving as much relevant organic traffic to your listing as possible, and then you're rewarded by Amazon's algorithm, and you begin to rank for the more competitive keywords. So that's the basic idea. But what we need to do to make this happen is you find what the long tail keywords are, and luckily we'll just hand you that information. We'll tell you exactly what keywords you need to be using in your listing. So you understand what the long tail keywords are. and you begin to use those in your listing copy, and also use them in PPC as well. But you drive traffic and you convert sales on those long tail keywords. And then Amazon's algorithm loves to see high conversion rates. So they see you converting for those long tail keywords, and they'll organically begin to rank you for the short tail keywords. And then you can begin to use those short tail keywords in your listing copy as well. And all of a sudden now your ability to capture search volume and revenue has begun to expand and expand and expand. So we're going to really dive into what this means in the demo, but that's the idea. Focus on the long tail keywords first, make sure you're having a high conversion rate, and then you'll be rewarded by Amazon's algorithm with an improved keyword rank for the short tail, more competitive keywords.
Just before you go there, Darren, so the short tail keywords that he's talking about, just so we all have an idea and we're all on the same page, the short tail keywords are those main keywords with the highest amount of search volume. So 90% of people that go onto Amazon, they're typing in these keywords to find your product. And by doing that, they also attract the most competition. Most PPC spend. So as a new seller with no reviews, it's going to be really hard for you to get to page one instantly. When you spend money on PPC, you're going to be competing with all the big guys who are spending on PPC as well. So your conversions and your cost per click is going to be really expensive. That's why we're going for these shorter tail keywords on our end while we start, and targeting them with our PPC and with our keywording, because the clicks are going to be cheaper, the competition is going to be less, and while they may have a smaller amount of search volume, if you add 10, 20 of these really low competitive keywords together, they'll equal the same amount of search volume as one of the short tail keywords. So you're still getting seen by nearly as many eyes, but the competition is not there. And then, like Darren said, once you start ranking for those keywords, those short tail keywords will naturally start putting you on page one.
Perfect. Sweet. So let's just use a couple of examples of short tail versus long tail keywords. So two examples of short tail keywords are keywords that we actually pulled from a session that we ran using Keywords on Fire. The top search volume keywords, which are record player and record player stands. Now these are, like as Josh alluded to, sort of broad. They can apply to a wide array of different types of products. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't rank for these, or you shouldn't focus on ranking for them when the time is right. Because, you know, if somebody types in record player and they see a bunch of record players, they might also see our product as well on page one and consider purchasing it because they're already shopping for record players. But because our click rate and our conversion rates are going to be lower for those short tail keywords, it's better to put our focus and attention on the long tail keywords first, and driving sales for those less competitive keywords. And in addition to them being less competitive, because they're more relevant to our product, we have a higher chance of driving sales as well. So, you know, these are two examples of long tail keywords pulled from the Keyword on Fire session. Record player stands with vinyl storage. Modern record holder for vinyl record albums. Those are good examples of long tail keywords. You can see here they have much less monthly search volume, 730 and 511 respectively, but we can pretty much guarantee that because our product looks better, because we've added these keywords into our listing copy, that we're going to drive sales on those keywords and are relevant to our product. We're going to drive sales and we're going to rank easily, probably in the top 3 positions for those keywords. I also wanted to point out, this was just like infuriating to me as I was looking at the space last night, but this product right here on the left up at the top is literally being labeled a turntable stand, and it's just a wooden box that's being sold for $105 and it's 56 reviews. I mean, we could crush this product and knock them out of the park with what we have, but you know, I just thought it was hilarious that somebody was selling a wooden box for $105.
And they were on page one for the main keyword, weren't they?
Yeah, page one for the most competitive short tail keyword. Unbelievable. So this is actually, we'll get into what this means here shortly, but I wanted to just point this out because this is a concept that I think is important to kind of understand. This is how I like to think about keywords. But when you run a keyword on fire session, you're going to get a list of all the relevant keywords pertaining to your product, and you get to pick and choose which keywords you want to use in your listing. And we'll show you the search volume and the potential revenue for each individual keyword. Now, the whole list represents the total potential search volume and revenue at your disposal. And that represents a bit competitive. You are competing with the best sellers and the most amount of sellers for those big slices of the pie. So you might be getting a sliver of the short tail keywords until you begin to drive traffic and improve your rank, and you have the social proof with reviews, and your conversion rate begins to improve. A better idea is to focus on the long tail keywords, which are highly targeted, highly relevant to your product, that you can own. If you employ the halo effect, you can own the actual full slices, basically, of the long tail keywords. And if you can drive the majority of clicks, you can rank in the top 3, top 4, top 5 positions for those long tail keywords. You're going to find that while they only represent maybe 25% of the total search volume at our disposal, if we're converting at a high rate, it doesn't matter because we're still hitting our numbers and we're still making sales. And then, of course, the halo effect is that you begin to rank for the short tail keywords as well.
And just because you're targeting those long tail keywords and only trying to rank for, you're not only trying to rank for the long tail, but just because you're specifically targeting those long tail keywords doesn't mean you're not going to show up in the short tail keywords. It just means that you're not wasting your money trying to compete with all the experienced sellers there. You'll still be showing up on those pages. You're just focusing your attention on the long tail keywords and dominating that section first before we move on to the short tail.
Perfect. Cool. So I am going to stop sharing my screen in a second. Just let us know. Can you give us a big yes or I feel so-so about this, depending on where we're at right now. We're about to show you how Zonguru can make listing optimization easy, and how the concept that we just talked about is able to be easily applied using our keyword tools.
So guys, I'm going to take you through how to create a listing on Amazon that converts and still speaks to your customer. So the first thing we need to do is figure out what our keywords are, what are customers searching for to find our product, what are the numbers, what are the short tail, what are the long tail keywords there. And to do that, we use our Keywords on Fire tool. So Keywords on Fire works as a reverse ASIN lookup tool and a reverse keyword lookup tool. You may notice a lot of our competitors have multiple different tools that you have to get a big list of keywords in for and then dedupe and send them to another tool. Keywords on Fire does all this in one. So if you're ever looking for something like that, Keywords on Fire does this. It's just, we make it so simple that some people may not realize it. But to add a session on Keywords on Fire, we add a product by phrase. And the keyword that we're looking for is vinyl record storage. What this does is brings in the top 25 competitors and then all the keywords that generate sales for those competitors. If you want to learn more about actually how to use Keywords on Fire and run a session, just click the Need Help button here. Watch the training and the video tutorials and ask FAQs. If you have any specific questions, feel free to reach out to support. But I'm going to go into vinyl record storage now. This is the main keyword that we were checking. We did see vinyl record stand there, but just for the sake of the exercise, we're going to look at this one here. You may notice there's a few less columns than usual. The table settings here, I just have a few deselected. That's just so we can see a few more things that are relevant to us at the moment. But essentially what we've done here is we've dragged in the top 25 competitors for vinyl record storage, the keyword. So the top 25 listings, we found out how many keywords that is driving sales for those keywords. We have 296. Those 296 keywords are generating $3.2 million in revenue a month and driving 188,000 searches. So how do we figure out what the difference is between our long tail and short tail keywords? So the best option here is to, and because we want to start creating a list, we would create a big list. I'm just going to show you about 4 or 5 of each for now. But to find our short tail keywords, the thing I like to do is filter by search volume. So now we're going to see the keywords with the highest search volume at the top. We also need to keep in mind that these keywords need to be relevant to our product and make sense. So if someone's typing in this keyword, they need to be looking for our product or something very, very similar. So a storage box, not our product. That could relate to anything, but a record player stand, still probably not our product. So vinyl record storage is a keyword that makes sense for our product. It's generating a lot of search volume and a lot of keywords generated. And this would be a pretty competitive product, pretty competitive keyword. It's also just a couple of words. So this makes it a short tail keyword. As we go down, I can see record storage, same deal, record holder, keep going down. Turntable stand and records, vinyl albums are not exactly the keywords that describe our product. Record stand, vinyl holder, record shelf. These are all short tail keywords that we could target broadly, but we're not going to spend most of our time searching for.
Josh, find what do you usually like to say like represents a short tail keyword versus a long tail keyword? Is it like come down to search volume for you usually?
For me, yes, search volume, and I'd like to say reviews, but this is not a very competitive category in itself. So we're not seeing high numbers of reviews here anyway. These, like the 800, yes, but anything under 300 is considered to be a low amount of reviews. And this is not a very competitive category. So I haven't been too focused on the review side of things, more focused on the search volume. And if it has a high search volume, chances are your competitors know it has a high search volume, and that's where they're spending their PPC. And I just should put a couple more things in here. So we got top 25. You can see the average PPC bid. Once this refreshes, and the top 25 competitors. So we have, for record storage, for example, we have 19 of the top 25 listings for this keyword on page 1 for record storage. For example, if we scroll down and find a keyword with less than 1,500 search volume, that's a good starting place. And we see vinyl record stand. We have 4 competitors that are ranking on page 1 for vinyl record stand. There's a lower search volume, but like I said before, if we get a lot of these keywords that are less competitive, we'll be able to rank for those shorter tail keywords later. So they will add up to the same amount of search volume if we plus them all together. Another easy way to find some short tail keywords is that we run a filter. So Keywords on Fire, you can run filters on all these on this session, and we put in number of words greater to or equal to, and just for the sake of this example, we'll say 4. Now we have the literal term of what a long tail keyword is, a longer phrase that explains the keyword. Most people are lazy. They're not going to type in this many keywords. So the search volumes are going to be lower. The competition is also going to be lower. So as we go down, we can see a lot of these keywords, record player stands with record storage, vinyl record holder stand. Low search volume still generates some revenue. Only 6 competitors on the top of page 1, and low reviews. So this is a literal term of what a long tail keyword is. So this is something that we would want to put in our list as one of those keywords that we want to target as we're launching. Do you want to jump in there with anything, Darren?
No, I think you've covered it great. The only thing I'll say is one piece of unique functionality that Zonguru does have is if you scroll over to the side, you can actually see where the top competitors for the main search term that we used rank for all those keywords. So that's another great way to find soft spots in the keyword landscape. Is if you see those dashes, that means that they don't rank in the top, I believe, 150 positions. So they won't appear on page 1, 2, or 3. And so you know that could potentially be a good keyword to use, because none of the competition, at least our main competition, ranks on page 1, 2, or 3 for those keywords. So you want to see kind of those dashes. You want to see those green numbers, especially. That's just another great way to. You might find like 1 or 2 like just totally easy keywords that you can 100% just dominate. That your competition doesn't know about because they don't have access to this data.
I'd like to see what this keyword is. Christmas tree storage box. Okay, so there's a reason nobody ranks for this keyword, is because it doesn't relate to your product at all. But even without seeing the keywords, we can look at this graph and we can see we're looking horizontally, we can see lots of orange and red, which means there's lots of competition. If we're looking here, we can see lots of green, and these dots essentially are green. They're not rankings. So this is a keyword here that only this competitor here is ranking page 1. The rest of the competitors are really, really struggling. So it'd be interesting to see what the keyword is. A record player stand. It is a potential keyword that you should target to rank for. It doesn't really describe the product that we're searching for, but that's the method that you would use to try and find some non-competitive keywords. From here, we want to go to listing optimizer, where we're going to build our listing. What you can do is click on this button here, and it'll add all these keywords from inside of Keywords and Fire straight to Listing Optimizer. For the sake of today's session, I'm not going to do that, because I want to show you our example products, how well they've built their listing, and what we can do to improve it. So remember, from the last 2 days, we've been checking out Umbra's magazine rack and record holder. It's got that funny geometrical design, but even just from looking at it, we can see it's got a bit of a short title. It's doing some interesting things here with the pricing. So its pricing is $30 for 1, $130 for 2, $200 for 3, $260 for 4. Not making a whole lot of sense there for me. So that's an interesting thing to do with the product. And as we scroll down, the photos are all the same.
I would say.
Sorry?
I would say uninspired, probably.
Uninspired, that's right. Remember, who are we targeting? Input it into the scenery of the customer. So the Pinterest images did a really good job of setting the scene in your target customer's bedroom. So your target customer could picture exactly how that product was going to look in their life. So in here, all we can see is a white space. You only have to have a white space image for that first hero image. You could have some records in there to display what it's doing, give it a bit of sense of scale, but there should be lifestyle images from here on out, essentially. As we go down, we can see they do have some EBC and A+ content. It does show a little bit of the images of in the lifestyle, but they should be using some images like this in their main listing. And they have a small description here. And that's about it. So now we can go over to Zonguru. And what I did was pull this ASIN, click pull ASIN. And I'm not going to do it right now, but pull the ASIN in from here. So we can grab the ASIN out of by double clicking on the first in the URL where it starts with B, and it will highlight the ASIN, click copy, enter the ASIN here. And we're going to pull the backend keywords as well, pull ASIN info. And what that will do is bring up all the copy for this listing, as well as all the back-end search terms. You may be saying, well, this one didn't bring in all the back-end search terms, but that's because this listing is so poorly designed that it did not even put the effort in to put in the keywords in the back-end. And this is a really important part. So Amazon really takes into consideration your search terms and subject matter when it decides where your product is going to rank. So this is a really poorly put together listing. You can see here some things they're doing wrong is they haven't even used up all the characters in their title, which is the most important. It holds the most weight in Amazon's algorithm. So every character, every word that you have the ability to put in is another chance to get found on Amazon. And the whole point on Amazon is to get found first and then convert with your photos and copy, and price and reviews and things like that. So there's another potentially 16 words that they could have used to get found on Amazon. And the same throughout the board. They just haven't put the time and effort in here. What I'm going to do now is load some keywords from Keywords on Fire. So we just saw that keyword on Fire session we did before for vinyl record storage. And we're going to drag that one in, and now we're going to see how much revenue we could potentially be ranking for and how much revenue we are actually ranking for. So we have the potential to be ranking for $3.2 million worth of sales in the month and 188,000 searches. But we're only indexing now for 44,000 searches of the possible 188,000 and 659.
I want to just pump the brakes for just a second. I mean,
sure.
Let's take a step back and just think about this. That seller ranks towards the top of page 1 on the short tail keyword that drives probably the most traffic, and they're optimized for, it looks like, a total of a fifth of the combined search volume and about the same in combined revenue. I mean, it just really goes to show that if you do keyword research the right way, and this is your competition, you have a really, really remarkable chance of just smashing everyone and gobbling up all the sales, especially if, like what we're doing right now, is building a product that's superior on top of all of that.
Yeah, that's right. This listing could potentially outsource, pay someone $20 for an hour, or pay $100 or more, or slightly more, get someone to creatively write the listing, input all these keywords, and then see their product rank for so many more searches per month, essentially 4 or 5 times. They can double their sales that way. So it's just laziness on Amazon. This is why you still have an opportunity to enter these categories and outperform them because of all the training that you've had through reliable education, and start to be successful on Amazon from day one. So what I did from here is I've seen poor listings. So I thought, okay, what can Total Drag do better? Let's rewrite the listing. And this is what I've come up with. On the side here, I can see we've got 4 short tail keywords and 4 of the longer tail keywords. I know they're not literally the long tail keywords. I probably could have chose some different ones here, but these have lower search volume. They're not as competitive. And we can see already that we're ranking for a combined revenue of 609,000 off 10 keywords. These guys are ranking for less than that off the whole amount of keywords. So that's just what copy can do already. But just from here, what I've done is completely used all the characters. I'm going to quickly show you something. I'm going to click Done Editing, and we can see exactly where all of our long tail and short tail keywords are inside of our listing. We hover over them and they highlight in the listing, and they show you whether that's a broad or exact match. So an exact match is if vinyl record storage is spelled exactly the same and those words are in the same order somewhere in the listing. So we can see the green highlighted in title means that is an exact match. The yellow means that it's broadly matched. So Amazon will still rank you if your keyword phrase is not exactly typed out, but those words are separated somewhere throughout your listing. But it just holds a little bit more weight if they're right next to each other. But we can see that I'm in the title, bullets, keywords, and search terms and description for nearly all of these keywords, and I could probably optimize this further. So now what I want to do, similar to what we did with the Umbra listing, is we want to drag in the vinyl record storage from Keywords on Fire, and we will be able to see how much we are ranking for out of this. Okay, so we are ranking for a 1.7 million out of a possible $3.2 million worth of revenue, and 120,000 searches out of a potential 188,000. So that is 3 times as many searches that we can be found for, and I haven't even finished the listing. All I've done so far is the title, description, bullets, and search terms. And I'll go over what you want to try and achieve in each one of these. So the title is widely regarded as the most important part of your listing. It holds the most weight. No one knows the Amazon algorithm for sure, but through testing, and Amazon will tell you the title. You make sure you have your main keywords in your title if you really want to get found. So you need to start your title off with your brand name. So maybe not having a ridiculously long brand name can be smart. Try and keep it simple. But you also want to have it be able to read relatively well, but be stacked with all these keywords. So I'm going through it, and what I'm looking for is all the different types of keywords that we have that aren't repeating, and I'm making sure that they're in here somewhere. So we have vinyl record storage box for albums. So it might sound like an extended description, but I'm making sure I'm getting in a lot of these different keywords. It's an LP holder case with wall mount, vinyl album record crate storage solution. So we have a typo there. Turntable display stand for vintage gramophone records. So I've got a huge variety here of different keywords, different plurals, and making sure that I am ranking for all these main keywords. We can see that these symbols along here with the fire symbol, these means that they have the highest ZG score, Zonguru score, high search volume, less competition, and you want to make sure that these are all throughout your listing. Is anything you want to jump in there, Darren? Are you happy there?
Yeah, I'm just curious. I want to see you hover over the optimization score. I want to see how our unfinished listing stacks up. Cool. So we're in the top 13%. So this is a fun little feature. If you guys haven't used it yet, you can see how your listing copy stacks up against other Zonguru users based on the score that we give as you begin to optimize your listing. So even unfinished, we're sitting in almost in the top 10%. That's not bad, and it's just kind of a fun gamified way to see how your listing copy stacks up against other sellers. Important to just make a note there not to get tunnel vision on that score. Obviously,
yeah.
your listing copy is more than a Zonguru optimization score. So just want to preface that, but it's a good indicator of how well optimized you are.
Yeah, that's right. This number is not out of 100,000 or anything. It's just there's no great score. It's just a bit of a fun way to keep it like competitive. It's also important to remember with combined revenue and combined search volume, it's not your goal to be completely maximized out for each of these. You don't need to be so focused on completely being available for 188,000 searches. Some of these keywords in here may not be relevant to your product. So don't get too focused on that. Get as close as possible while still being able to have a readable listing that relates to your customer, that your customer will not read and just go, this is just a salesman just trying to keyword stack and just sell me. I want to actually feel something from this brand. So what we've done here, I've gone into the description and I've keyword stacked the first little bit, just describing what the product is and a little bit about the brand. And then I've described the product, what it's made out of, the sizes, etc. And then I go into a little bit about the brand, how it was made, and how the ideas would come up. So Munro is the name of our item. So it's kind of like that classier type of product. They always seem to put a name towards their product. Instead of just calling it the vinyl storage rack, we're calling it the Munro. It makes it sound a little bit fancier, bit higher class. I'm sure Adam would like that. And it's obviously a take on the Marilyn Monroe. So by Drag Audio, effortlessly displays your favorite vinyl record albums in its bohemian-styled vintage record holder. This original USA design piece will fit perfectly into any room and be an eye-catching addition to your home. Its lightweight but durable design is made perfectly to be placed in your small apartment spaces. Now, it just sounds like a couple of normal sentences there, but when your customer is a Manhattan apartment James and he's looking for something, he might be thinking, all right, I need something to fit out my small apartment. And he might even just type that into Google. He might even just type that into Amazon. So it's important you're using the language that your customers can relate to and may even be searching for. And people in the USA are pretty USA proud. So having it designed in the USA can't hurt either. So looking for a rack to divide your Khalid from your Lizzo records. I noticed as I scrolled down through these keywords, I found keywords that were mentioning these two artists. So I just made a simple note to have a bit of a fun sentence, but include those two artists. It's just more keywords that we could pop up for. Then we describe the product. The vintage display stand for gramophone records is built to last. No need to worry. We're talking about our 100% money back guarantee. You may as well mention that Amazon's going to give them 100% money back guarantee anyway. So the customer will love to see that. We tell them how many records it can hold. And in here, I'm using the different keywords that I've found from in here. So the whole time I'm thinking, right, readable sentences that still relate to my customer. And if there's a chance that I can put in some extra keywords that I'm not ranking for yet, put them in. We're talking about the high quality because a lot of the customers were complaining about the low quality. And then we go into why, who created this, and we're creating a bit of a brand story. So maybe your customer could relate to the brand owners and go, support the small business, for example. So it says, we hope you enjoy this piece made from love from the Total Drag Audio family. Total Drag Audio is a family-owned business founded in 2018 by Darren, a music lover with an eye for design, and his partner Judah. And don't forget their pet dog Myth, who helps out with daily tasks. I don't know if you've read that yet, Darren.
That's so good. No, I love it.
Every purchase you make with Total Drag Audio supports kids in less fortunate communities to follow their dreams and gives opportunity to learn a new instrument. For every sale, Total Drag Audio will donate $5 to the Music for Everyone charity. So a bit of philanthropy there that always is a good thing to do, but it also helps convert as well. For your bullet points, so your description, just to recap, we're describing the product, we're letting everyone know a little bit about the brand, we're making sure there's plenty of keywords in there, but we really want this part to be readable and just connect more so with your customer. The bullets and search terms are more when you want to be doing a lot of keyword stacking. They hold a bit more weight in the Amazon algorithm. In the bullet points, we want to think of our 5 main points about this product and speak to each of those. So for this one, one of the points is its size, essentially. So stores up to 6 vintage vinyl record albums. So they're all keywords that I know customers are using to search for. It's small but unique design is the perfect record holder for albums. It allows for the storage and works as an organizer. So organizer was another keyword I found a bit later, made sure to add in there for up to 6 IP records or 10 of your favorite magazines. So instead of using vinyl records with every explanation, I'm starting to use the different keywords that people are searching for. Magazines is another option that this product could work for, and people have obviously searched for it. Don't forget, if you have a larger collection of vinyl records, you can bundle your Munros and display them together. With every additional purchase, Total Drag vinyl record holders, you will receive $5 off. This is the perfect storage solution for your modern apartment. So storage solution is a keyword that keeps popping up as well, and just trying to make it sound relatively nice while having plenty of keywords. And from here, we have our search terms. So in our search terms, we're not wanting to double up on keywords. Search terms and subject matter are not going to be seen by our customers on the Amazon page. It's all in the back end. So make sure you've just got all of your all the most important keywords that you've found typed into here. Use all the plurals and just don't double up. So we have all of our keywords that we think someone might describe our product with, and that we know someone will describe our product with because we're using Keywords on Fire and we see the exact search volume, and just make sure that this is completely filled out. I haven't got 250 in here. I should. You can see I have a misspelling. So vinyl, V-Y-N-L-E, comes up quite often. Make sure that you have the misspellings in the back end at least. I may even put it, if it came up enough, if I saw it as a really strong keyword, I might even put it inside of my listing somewhere where people can actually read. See, vinyl record holder is a medium strength keyword. It means it comes up quite a lot. So there's no harm in having that sneakily somewhere in your description. And search terms, subject matter is another place for search terms. So make sure you just have lots of your different keywords in here. So for example, if we're in a more competitive category that had a lot more descriptive keywords, you may be running out of room. This particular category only has a certain amount of keywords that they use to describe their product. And I've only done research for an hour or two on this. So I could come up with a lot more keywords that could bring our search volume and rank up a lot higher. But just for the sake of the exercise, hopefully that lent some insight into what you should be doing as you create your listing.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Darren?
Yeah, I just, it's great stuff. The listing copy that you've written is exactly what we're after right now, which is, just kind of to recap, it's, relevant to the product. It checks the right boxes from a numbers perspective. We know that it has like a decent amount of search volume, and it connects with the customer. It's that trifecta that we're looking for. So really, really good job on listing copy. The only thing I would add is just some of you may have missed that we released a tool about maybe 2 or 3 months ago called our Keyword Spotlight tool. And this is an awesome tool, and it's again another one of those unique. I just added that product, Josh, so we can take a look at the not that one, the one that you see right there, because the other sellers weren't using backend search terms. But this is unique to Zonguru. The Keyword Spotlight allows you to literally see your competitor's backend listing copy. A lot of the sellers in this space, and as you would guess, because they're writing uninspired copy that doesn't even take full advantage of the character count, are also not taking advantage of their backend listing copy. They probably just don't think that it's that important. But if you can drive additional traffic, you should do that. So what you can do is you can spy on your competitor's backend listing copy. You can see which keywords they're using in the backend to drive a little extra traffic. Learn from their experience and just use it if it makes sense for your brand. It's also a great place to find maybe colloquial terms, misspellings, or even if your marketplace is bilingual, the opportunity to add in perhaps if you're selling in .com, maybe a Spanish keyword.
Yeah, I'd like to make another note here. If you're seeing, like in this, what this category really tells me when I see these poor written listings is that maybe Amazon is the side business for these guys. Maybe they have their own online shop somewhere. Maybe they have a normal brick and mortar retail store, and they know they need to sell online. They know they need to sell on Amazon, so they'll just chuck it up there, and they're making sales just because the competition is so low. The time you should be a bit more worried and a bit more hesitant is when you're going onto these categories and you're finding that these are stacked with keywords, the listing's completely stacked, their listing scores are really high, they're optimized for so much search volume. That means that you're probably competing with really seasoned sellers or probably more RE students. So that's why it's really good to see when you're running those backend search terms, poor effort put in there, because it means that you have a lot more chance of jumping in there and competing straight away.